Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be reacting to Marni, your personal wing girl. 99% of all women are turned on if you say this. Tested for 2019. Now, I don't know if I just have to say the word this. I just walk up to a girl and say this, and she's turned on. Now, I'm making this video in 2021, so I don't know if this will still work. Women have become immune to it and now they need an upgrade in the attraction levels. So anyway, let's have a look at what Marnie's got to say.
In this video, I'm going to tell you something that because you are a man, you most likely weren't taught. I'm going to tell you about making an emotional connection and why it's so important to women.
Yes, no one taught me about how to make an emotional connection as a man. Yeah, I needed to be taught to love people. It's not something that just naturally came to me.
So I have a bit of a hunch about you.
This will be interesting.
During this learning to get good with women journey you're on, you were told that if you want to be with a woman, you need to make an emotional connection with her, right? While this is usually true, pretty much true, a lot of men misinterpret what that actually means. They think that for women, emotional automatically means sugar and spice and all things nice, and that creating an emotional connection means talking about unicorns and rainbows.
When I interact with women in the world, I don't usually start off the conversation with unicorns and rainbows. Yeah, you go try starting a conversation and using a pickup line talking about unicorns and rainbows. See how it goes. Can you imagine somebody on Tinder like matching with someone and then saying, "Hi, what do you think about rainbows?" It's like, "Oh, they're great." And unicorns? Like, it's a weird conversation to start. Like, why would you think that I would think that? Like, do you think girls just go around being really nice and talking about unicorns?
That it has to be all about love and romance and being together for all eternity. But here's the truth. An emotional connection can be one that's built entirely around sexual desire. If we think to ourselves, oh my God, he just made me think of the dirtiest thoughts I've ever thought about and I don't even know why, that's an emotional connection because it's a feeling of sexual attraction and arousal that we experience that connects us to you. You made us feel that. So please pay attention to this next point though, because it's incredibly important. Even though sexual desire counts as an emotional connection, most men go about this completely the wrong way.
This is like going to school.
They're way too direct and explicit because that's what men respond to. However, women are not wired the same way. It's simply...
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people that have difficulty with women, their problem is that they're very indirect. And that's why they usually end up in the friend zone, because they're not that crass and outright and say what they think and feel. A lot of guys are simps and they pander to women and say what they believe that they want them to say instead of being honest with them.
Not a turn on when a guy asks us, oh, want to do it? Or tells us, bend over and I'll give you the ride of your life.
I don't know what guys she's been hanging out with who start off talking about rainbows and unicorns and then saying, bend over, I'll give you the ride of your life. What men is she hanging it out with? I don't understand.
Maybe that's what porn actresses get excited by on screen, but for real flesh and blood women, there's nothing sexy about them.
Again, I don't think I've seen many porn videos where they talk about those issues.
Subtlety and innuendo are your best friend when trying to arouse women. If you can hint at something sexual and make us picture something dirty in our minds without directly stating it, that's way more titillating than being too obvious about it. So here are some examples and types of subtle statements. When a woman is complimenting you or challenging you, let her know that you know what she's...
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this video. I think it's going to be one of those difficult ones. When a woman's challenging me, if she's challenging me, I'll walk away. It's not, I've got better things to do. Like complimenting and challenging are the same thing.
Trying to do and that you are onto her. Basically, you're accusing her of having a dirty mind. So here are some examples. You're so hitting on me right now. Or, you're falling in love with me right now, aren't you? Or something like, you're flirting with me. That's really cute. Or, see, I knew you had a naughty side.
But now, what, like, you have to remember all these lines in order to be able to have an emotional connection with women. It doesn't make sense. I honestly believe that if you engage with your instincts and your emotions are a derivative of that, then you'll know what the right thing to say and do is. You won't need to memorize a load of lines in order to create a connection with another human being.
Or I have way too many terrible thoughts going through my mind right now. Or you are definitely going to be trouble for me. Or you could ask some subtle questions that could lead to something more sexual. So you want to start off low. So, for example, have you ever been skinny dipping? Or what are your thoughts on public affection? All of these subtle lines are ways to introduce sexuality into your conversation. And if she jumps onto these statements, it's a sign that she's on the same page as you and ready to escalate things to another level. Not necessarily sex, but her acceptance and participation indicates that there is an attraction that you will still need to build upon. When you do it this way, it lets us use the power of our imaginations to turn ourselves on. And since the brain is the largest sexual organ, no matter what your tape measure says, you'll be more aroused than if we don't have to imagine anything at all. To see proof of this, simply pick up any woman's romance novel. Seriously, like go on Amazon and buy one. It'll be the best $5 that you've ever spent. You'll notice how things always start off slowly and the tension builds gradually. How sex.
I just feel really sad. When I watch these kind of videos, I'm starting to get a bit. It's so much work, isn't it?
Gradually, how sex is implied and teased at without being explicitly talked about. But as the tension builds, the sexuality starts to become more direct until it reaches the tipping point at which things explode into some of the dirtiest sexual scenarios you can imagine. This is what we respond to. This is how we fantasize about things going down when we meet a man, not what you see in porn made for men, where barely 2 words are exchanged before the actors mindlessly pound each other. Guys who understand how to communicate with women in this way are incredibly rare, which is why the few who do get it also have more sexual options than they can handle.
There's so many things wrong with this video. I don't even know where to start. It's I'm gonna give her another shot. That's what she said. Let's try another one. These 2 words attract all women. All women. IW technique revealed 2019. All right, Marni, I'm going to give you one more chance.
So last week I posted a video on how to get a 10 when you're a 5 and date beyond your league by reframing. If you didn't see this,
a 10 when you're a 5. How to get a 10 at what? A 5 at what?
Video, I'll include the link in the description box below. Reframing how you think is the first step to becoming a badass with women. In this week's video, I'm going to tell you a quick and easy way to get everything you want with women. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Now, heads up, some of your moms might get angry at me for teaching you what I'm about to teach you. I'm going to teach you how to unapologetically ask for what you want with women. Now, at some point along the way, you misinterpreted the.
I know I should be reacting better to this and saying a lot of intelligent, sophisticated, witty things, but I just feel so sad and down that this is what's popular. This is like 5 million views.
Want with women. Now, at some point along the way, you misinterpreted the message given to you by your parents or your teachers or other adults in your life that said,
Did I now?
Always be polite, to mean that you must never ask for what you want. And if you do, oh my God, you're a jerk.
That's not true. Not for me.
Or just a downright awful person. When the truth is the exact opposite. If you're not clearly stating what you want, but rather skirting around it, you're actually being more impolite. Subtlety and innuendo are your best friend when trying to arouse women. And when screwing yourself, it means that you're not screwing women in the good way, obviously. So that's not a win-win for you. But we're about to change that, because I'm going to show you how to rewire your current programming that says to be polite, keep your mouth shut, and don't ask a woman for anything.
Well, who told you that?
By teaching you how to tell women what you want with an exercise called I want. I tried to keep it simple, so don't harp on me for my exercise names. If you've been watching my videos for a while, what is the number one key thing I stress you need to do in order to attract women?
Enlighten me.
You need to be able to lead. Leaders tell you what they want. They don't hide it. They don't cover it up and pretend they want something else so that you're going to feel comfortable. Leaders and men that succeed with women tell it straight. They ask for what they want, and if that woman doesn't want it, they move on. And as I said in the last video, I want you to wipe away what you learned as a child. It is 100% okay to ask for what you want. Don't worry about people thinking you're rude or harsh or arrogant or a big a-hole. If you're watching this video, then you and I already know that you're not one of those things. What you may be...
There's so many presumptions and assumptions coming out of this video. I don't even know which one to tackle first. They're just coming out so fast. The whole foundation of this mentality is wrong.
You may be is a passive, nice guy who seems to always get passed over by others who you think are less deserving. And I'm sorry for being so blunt, but it's true. Women love decision makers, they love leaders, and they want to be with a man who knows what he wants and goes after it. A man that can challenge them and has his own opinion, not a man that they can push over. One little note. This does not mean refusing to hear what women want and blowing past their wants. The only way to get what you want from a woman is by being direct and asking for what you want. For example, I want your number.
Yes, I agree with that. You see, this is weird. I agree with that, but everything that she's saying around it doesn't make any sense.
I want to take you out next week. Really easy. I do not want to be friends. I want to be more. Men go about this completely the wrong way. They're way too direct and explicit because that's what men respond to. However, women are not wired the same way. And obviously you're going to finesse these statements, but at the base, this should always be what you are expressing, your wants. If you've never been one to do this,
Well, no, because you're not the only person in the relationship. It's two people. So you need to ask a series of questions to understand where she's at in order to, and know who you are, and then see if you're compatible or not. So it's not all about you.
Finesse these statements, but at the base, this should always be what you are expressing, your wants. If you've never been one to do this, the I want exercise and tool is going to be your new best friend. This will help with women, but will also help in all other areas of your life. So here's how to do it. Here's the I want exercise. So I want you to get comfortable with saying what you want, but first you have to get comfortable with using the words I want. For many people, this phrase can be tough at first. I want you to use the words I want.
This is so confusing.
5 times per day. Tell coworkers what you want, people at stores, your friends, everyone. And if you don't know what you want or don't even have a want, take a breath and think about it, and then say it out loud. Say something out loud. I know
Even if it's not what you want.
that right now this doesn't seem like anything magical, but it is. In just a few short days of doing this, you will notice something shift both in you and in how others view you, especially women. No longer will you tell a woman, it's totally fine that you've canceled on me for the 4th time and asked to reschedule. I know your dog hates to be alone. Instead, you'll let her know that she's missing out on an amazing guy who has countless other options, and there's an exploration of how long his attention is directed at you. You won't say this directly, but if you're not clearly stating what you want, but rather skirting around it, you're actually being more impolite. Plus, you're screwing yourself in the process. The way you'll carry yourself will let her know that without it being said. As soon as you can ask for what you want and not be afraid of it, doors that seemed closed before are slowly going to open.
I'm going to try and make some sense out of this video. She's talking about self-respect, and I agree with that. And it's important to say what you want, and I agree with that, and to be direct. But I don't agree with all the assumptions that she's been making, and I don't like the avatar that she's making me out to be. Again, this is just it's very complicated. It's very storytelling. There's not a lot of advice here.
And you will be a man that can ask for what he wants without apologizing for it. If you're interested in discovering the next steps to becoming the man with
More steps.
women, then check out my top rated system, How to Become a Man Women Want.
Why do you need all these steps to become who you are?
How to Become a Man Women Want by clicking the link below in the description box or going to winggirlmethod.com/become the man now. Not only will you get the benefit of my years of experience helping hundreds of thousands of men create epic transformations in their results with women, you're also going to discover what women secretly want, the kind of thing only a fellow woman could ever know.
Why would I want to know what a woman wants? I'm not dating a woman. I'm dating a person who is a woman. And that one person is different to another person. So I want to get to know the person, not women. Not all, like it says in this video, not all women. So you become the man that women want by going around saying, I want. Well, I know what I want, and I want to stop watching these videos now and watch some other videos.